I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing for the 2026 budget. We're not going to adopt the resolution. We're going to get public input and board members' input. So I'd like to call the public hearing open at 6:03 p.m. Elizabeth?
Supervisor Elizabeth Breyer. Just wanted to start off to say that the newspaper notice was published on November 6th. And there's been a couple changes to revenue, some minor reductions since then for additional adjustments. The general fund, fire fund, and BSR2, they all remain the same because the appropriated priority fund balance increased to offset. For funds 216, 226, and 266, the budgeted revenue decreased slightly. We also wanted to mention some structural changes we made from last year. We took into account board member suggestion to move stuff out of the general fund. So we moved the web programmer position from communications to community engagement. And we also moved the stormwater budget from the general fund to the SR2 fund for infrastructure planning. We're still going through the budget. There will be additional changes next meeting, and we'll present those there. Is there any questions so far?
Are there any questions on the budget from the public?
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
That's
Are
okay.
the updated fund numbers for the funds that were changed, are they in the budget?
Yes, they are now. I can list them if you'd like.
Okay.
it was just, and they have copies.
Yes, it's in the memo, yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And then Joe's gonna go through the changes from the draft budget and also the fund balances.
All right.
Shelley Neal, County Director. I just want to real briefly say that we have our fund balance information. This is all based on budget. We usually come in a little bit higher than what I have projected here, the actual. But the budget-wise, I'm looking at the end of the year, ending at 80% funded in general fund. If you wanted to go down each one of those, I could, or if you just want to look at them, they're all in very good shape. I think we stand in good shape going into 26. There's any specific questions on any of the funds I can help you with?
Yes, Trustee Rowe?
Yes, but generally, on the, in terms of the revenue for the general fund, you know that it's down, and I know the property taxes are up, so is there like, is it just every other little area is down without going through, or do you know generally? Like a summary of why is the revenue lower
ARPA.
on the general fund? Because I know the property taxes were up.
Well, if you look at the fund balance sheet that I have, it's really not down.
Well, I was just looking at the,
Most of it's ARPA, wouldn't you
And
say?
ARPA
Yes.
usually is.
I thought you said without grants. Wait, let me just, I'll
Yeah,
go to
so
the
I
page
got-
I'm talking about. Sorry. Yeah, on the fund balance, that is the sheet that I was on, which says estimated revenues. It says doesn't include grants in the very first line item. Yeah, it's like 101 at the top on that chart. Yeah. And it says that the recommended budget is 11.4.5 million. It was 12, it's like $1 million. Then when I went and looked at like the overall, just like the big line items, property tax is up, so I was just wondering, since $1 million is not grants, what is the $1 million down in revenue? I didn't know if you just generally, or if it's just. mean, that's a big number, so I just thought maybe it was a big or maybe it's just every little line item revenue was just budgeted lower than prior year.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm not sure.
Is this on the fund balance?
This is on, the general fund balance, that first page. I was looking at the wrong fund balance.
Well, yeah.
Is that what you're asking about, trustee Rose?
Yes,
Yeah.
the estimated revenue is 101, 2024 was even higher, 2025 was 12.8, and we did amend it to be 3.5, but then it says we're only recommending 11.5 million in revenue for 2026, and it doesn't include grants, so to me that was like something structural, so I went right straight to property tax, which is the biggest thing. And the property tax is also listed as an increase, so $1 million isn't there, so I didn't know where, without going, and I thought maybe generally, is it just,
I think the budget.
did you just budget every single line item a little less in revenue to make
No,
up?
but I think what that is the prior year fund balance is part of the revenue, because you have to use the prior year fund balance. That way you see I've reduced the fund balance in 1 million. See in the red?
Yeah, I'm looking, yeah.
So that is part of the revenues, because you need that in order to balance. So I have to take it back out of that. If you look.
Yeah, I'm just looking, just give me a second. Thanks. But there's not even, compared to 24, we're like $1.5 million less. And that's not, and we only have 128,000 in fund balance that you put in for this year. I don't know, it just does not make sense to me. 24 is 7 million. 25, okay, I get that. You got 6, you're taking out the 8. Even that, because you had 8 million or 879 in transfers in, 1.5. What appropriations is 11.4, 11.4.
Karen, just so I'm clear, are you talking about the fund balance?
No, well, it's the same, yeah, I mean, it's the fund balance or, it's just carrying on through. You can start with the revenue. That's where what kicked it out to me was that the revenue is down $1 million. On the estimated revenues, does not include grants. It was 12.5 and 4, it was 12.8 and 5, 25, and we're projecting $1 million less. It says we amended the budget last year at 13.5, so it's $2 million less from last year. It did include grants. And then even if you take out, and I can see the 1.5, that's why it jacked up 2025, I got that.
Right.
But still, even if you take that out, we're still less revenue, even though property taxes are up.
Well, the ARPA grant is $1,163,000. So maybe that wording is different on page 6. But to say there's no grants in there, I think.
Well,
it is.
they wrote that up that it didn't include grants. But
Right,
that's the ARPA money's on there, so I didn't know. Maybe it's the grants.
It's rebudgeted. We had to rebudget from last year to this year. Carry them.
What you talking about, the 1 billion, why it's down?
Right, it's the very first line item.
Yes.
Like, why is that down? Because that doesn't have anything to do with the rest of those numbers down there below.
It does.
Like,
The prior year fund balance is part of that revenue.
When you say the first line, I'm sorry, I'm on page 1 of the budget, or are you looking at Giovanna's
I'm just looking at
document?
fund balance, but you can
Gotcha.
look at the other one too.
I
It's
am.
the same, it's still $1 million difference, but
If you look actually at page. If you look at page 2 on the budget, it's got the revenue for the general fund.
not 505, like 205 or?
2 of 189,
Okay.
the actual budget.
Revenue, yeah.
My page has got a hole
867.
to it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
mine
so
did too.
wrong.
What number are we talking about? What line item number? Just give me a number.
And you're right there.
So it's the 101, 000,
101.
403, 000.
Okay.
That's the revenue.
Okay,
Right.
I'm on the right page.
Okay, well, what I want you to do is the next page is page 2, and that shows you where that fund balance is. So see the appropriated prior year fund balance. That's the 1.7 million. That's included in the whole total of the revenue, that 21 million. And so it's really not 21 million in our revenue because it had to back out those grants for ARPA and for the grant for the court. But that
So
prior
the
year fund
12,656 estimated revenue for next year, you're saying in that number, even though, I don't understand, you're saying 1.7 is carried over from the prior year into the 2026 number?
No, you have to take that 1.7 million, the prior year fund balance, is part of the revenue. That is part of the revenue. So on the sheet that has the fund balance on there, I took that out because there's the revenue, but then I'm gonna back out the prior year fund balance because you're not gonna count that as revenue because you're pulling from your fund balance. So it's not really a revenue.
So if you go back to that, let me just go back to that 101 number, and what you're saying, you take the 1.7 out of there. Great, thanks.
So out of the 13 million, you're gonna back out
1.6
Oh,
almost.
on this one, it's 1.5.
Yeah, 5.9.
Yeah. You're gonna back that back out.
So, okay, so, all right, I got that. So what's,
But we can go line by line. on the-
yeah. So big, what about, let's go back to 24. So is that this, because I don't see the transfers in there.
Because that's, at the end of the year, you won't see fund balance because you don't use that. That just balances at the end of the year. So even though we did have fund balance for the prior year fund balance in 24, at the end of the year, you'll never see that number in here because we balanced it out as net income.
And I'm seeing it in 25 because.
Because it's budget. These are budget numbers. So the budget does have them in there.
Because we're not done, it's not even.
Exactly.
It's not fiscal.
Yeah.
It's not a part of the final numbers.
Right.
All right, I'm good, thanks. Sorry about that.
No, good, questions?
Oh, yeah, it is good. It's very confusing. And then, is there any questions on any of the funds that anybody would like to bring up at this point? Do we have public questions? And on the last page of the packet that we put together, maybe all the way,
So the packet,
the packet that is in your packet,
the budget or the packet?
in your budget, well, in the agenda packet?
Okay.
Yes, so if you go to page 1.
These are the documents you,
So yeah, we're gonna look at this one right here, that's up now. These are the changes that have been made from the draft that you received in August to the one that you're looking at right now. So these are the changes. We did have to change healthcare. We budgeted that at 18%, that was down to 15.67, I believe. So we lowered that. It was just a little bit of tweaks on some of the fringes that we had to do. So these 4 pages are what was changed from the one you received in August to the one that's printed right here in front of you.
Karen, you want a copy? I have a,
Is it in the, am I supposed
It's
to
on
be in
your-
the packet or am I supposed to be looking at here? Because now I've lost my packet, so I'm like falling apart at there.
Join
Thank you. Well, is this what we had in the front of it? Did you put this in the front with us or whoever did this?
the resolution.
Look at the fund balance.
Front or back?
That's all. That would, look to your last page is where.
I still just thought, well, it's on the front, but. You can't see that.
Just use what I gave you, Karen.
All right, but it's not in my back. Just let you all know
It's not.
It's not, I'm not crazy.
No, it's not in your back. She's correct. It's not in your back, Karen.
It's in the front, isn't it? That's what I said. I saw that. It's the same as this.
It was in the. It was in the board pack, right?
Here. Thanks, Lila.
I do believe the changes, the list of the changes that we made are not in your book that we gave you, but they're in the board packet.
Yes.
I saw that.
Sorry.
I saw that earlier.
Sorry.
No problem.
So, and there's not really, really any large ones, in here that I can see that jump out. If you have any questions on any of those. Okay. All right.
Just looking at the state projected reduction,
Yes.
what do we have what the state is going to share, or
I-
is this
Let
an
me see
estimation?
that I changed this one, because it went from, it was 4, and then it went down to 2, so a 2% reduction. So it's not as bad as what we had anticipated, which is good. But again, I'm always checking the state website to make sure that they're not changing it, so.
So it went from 409,000 down to 200.
and something.
So is it a possibility it could change?
There's always a possibility. They put an estimate on there, they never put a final.
Okay.
That's the state, I'm sorry, I should say
Yeah,
the state of
yeah.
Michigan.
So when would they finalize? Because I know their fiscal year is October to September. When would you have
26 is still
final numbers? or-
out there for them.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Usually it's in May that I can
Oh,
get some
wow,
numbers.
okay.
And it's also based on the sales tax is part of the formula.
Okay.
So it's kind of moving all the time.
Okay.
They're also supposed to give us money for police and fire to make up for the lost revenue.
Is that in here?
No, we don't, because they passed it as part of their budget, but they don't have language on it, and I don't know when we're supposed to get it. They said maybe in the summer. So once we get it in the summer, we'll get it and then accept it.
So it'll just be extra.
I just don't know what parameters on the expenditures are on it yet. And as soon as we get clarity, but we need to get the money anyways. Who knows? They might change their mind with the state.
Yeah. But at least it's not in the budget.
No, it is not, because we don't have, we don't have it.
It's not a sure given.
All right. I'm sure we'll have a chance to look this over by the next meeting. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding Thank you so much, Elizabeth. The good news is our budget's a line item and the narrative is there for everything, and I hate using the word transparent, but it is pretty darn transparent. No other community does what we do when it comes to explaining our budget.
So do you have to close it, the hearing?
Yeah. Are there any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing at 6:22. And we'll bring the resolution back at the next regular meeting. We need approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge?
Did we approve the agenda? Yeah, I guess we did. Who did the approval?
Oh, I'm sorry, approval of the agenda. Motion Eldridge,
Support.
support Lovejoy Rule. Questions or comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5 is a consent agenda. We have the minutes of October 21st, 2025 regular meeting and November 5th special meeting, and statements and checks and the treasurer's report. Motion is in order.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge,
Support Peterson.
support Peterson. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Winters, is there a general legal update? Yeah, that's you. Collective item.
I was like thinking it was one of their phone.
One general legal update that continues to be a general legal update is the ongoing closed door policy of the entire state of Michigan, the MEDC, the University of Michigan, ACM, everyone connected with the issues of the data centers. I'm gonna start calling them data centers because it doesn't matter anymore, because you call them computational and AI centers, it gets confusing anyway. So I'm gonna call them what I think they really are in practicality. They are in fact data centers. But the frustration is right now is because I've never seen a unit of government such as Fiscal Township go through the twists and turns of simply trying to schedule a meeting. I'm not talking about having the meeting or being dissatisfied with the outcome of the meeting, but actually trying to schedule a meeting. This is embarrassing. It should be embarrassed to state leadership, national representatives, that township in which we are, I think the point been stated many times before, when we are the host community for these data centers being proposed, cannot even meet with representatives of the governor's office in an effort to point out to them as to why the location of Textile Road is not in the best interest of the township, the county, for that matter, the state. It serves no purpose to continue with the solar borings that are going on that property, with the due diligence investigations being conducted on that property, everything that continues to proceed on that property, while they continue to try and say, well, we're still looking at the ACM property, when in reality, we have no verification or proof that would substantiate that statement. I just don't understand as to why they're keeping everyone in the dark. The township has a right to know what's going on. And this issue is not going to go away. We're seeing other communities deal with this data center all over the state of Michigan and the country, and no one is getting answers. Everybody is simply, in many cases, just getting, these are my words, the runaround. Now, there was an article that was published in the Michigan Daily Newspaper. Now, the Michigan Daily Newspaper is the student newspaper that serves the University of Michigan. They have over 40,000 students, and they have a very large faculty. And that one reporter did an article entitled, "Ypsilanti, not Ann Arbor, will bear the cost of the UM Los Alamos data center." And I would encourage you to read that article, because she actually did an outstanding job of showing the impact it's going to have upon Ypsilanti Township, not Ann Arbor. And it's going to continue to show the disparate treatment that we receive in the eastern part of Washtenaw County from those who have no hesitation at all to to impose their will upon this township without even having the courtesy of having a sit-down conversation. This cannot continue, and at some point in time it has to come to a head. And I will recognize State Representative Jimmy Wilson who even as of today has continued in his efforts to try and obtain a meeting on our behalf with the governor's office, and he too is being denied an opportunity to schedule a meeting with the governor's office that would include ourselves, simply to just discuss the merits of what we believe to be in the state's best interest to locate these data centers on the ACM property. What are you hiding? Why do you continue to, not even respect the office holder of the state representative of this township, who also represents Augusta Township, who's also dealing with the same issue of having a private data center being proposed for Augusta Township. Earlier today, I'll connect this point here. Earlier today, I did receive at my request a copy of a modeling study that was performed by YCUA in regards to what would be needed if the data center went into Augusta Township. And to no one's surprise on this township board, that study will show that there will be a major infrastructure impact that will require serious major upgrades for the Marks Road pump station. I got that report today, and I will share that with the board on tomorrow. The point of that right now is, again, we know that that data center was going to have significant impact, and we have told you of them that it is not the place to go for that very reason, because of Marks Road. And in fact, the director of Yucca, and for those who don't know Mr. Blackburn, I think he probably, without a doubt, is one of the most qualified directors of a municipal wastewater treatment plant anywhere, not only in this state, but probably in the Midwest. He wrote a letter to Chris Cole, who's the vice president of government relations for the University of Michigan, because everybody over there is a vice president of something. Everybody's got a vice president title. He's the vice president of government relations. And he wrote a letter to him pointing out that Yucca has available the so-called affluent or reclaimed water, in which you can use, if you go to the ACM property, it can be used to cool the computers, which is not available if you choose to go to the Textile Road properties. And so the only response onto that is simply saying, we'll take a look at it. Well, the bottom line is this: we know there's going to be a tremendous impact upon the Marks Road pump station, no matter what happens between U of M or even Augusta Township. At the same time, we know that there will not be this environmental impact upon the pump station in the Roll Run if they went to the ACM property. But yet they continue to not include us, not allow us to participate, not allow us to help them get to where they want to go. At the same time, they raise a tremendous amount of distrust, suspicion, and ill will amongst all of us, because again, this is embarrassing that we have to almost feel like we're groveling to simply have a sit-down meeting. This township board, the township residents, the township elected officials, all the professional people deserve to have answers to questions, and not to continue to wait until the end of this year, when in the past, during a holiday, something occurs, like what happened last year, when U of M received, through my words, trickery, a $100 million grant to help fund those two data centers. When I say trickery, it's because in their application, they clearly state that they had the support of this project, not from the township board, but from Ann Arbor Spark. Last time I looked, no one voted for Ann Arbor Spark to represent Ypsilanti Township. But that's the organization they put in their application as the basis for why they should get $100 million. In addition to that trickery, they said they were going to build this on the corner, 20 acres, and all along they had a plan to try and acquire another 124 acres that's going to separate only are the township's only access roads into the South Hydro Park. So, I think at some point in time here, maybe the next board meeting, I would encourage the board to think about entertaining a resolution to ask MEDC to cancel that $100 million grant. Why should the taxpayers of this state subsidize these data centers when they can't even sit down and have a meeting with us? Why should they get a dime when they're gonna contribute 1 cent towards police, fire, roads, anything? And rest assured, that Los Alamos has already been identified in everything I've read because of the nature of what they do by virtue of federal contracts for defense. They've already been highlighted as being, these are not my words, but they've been identified as being a high value target. So for us to believe that they could go on that side over there and not have possibly fire and police response from any number of scenarios, including those that might actually include bad actors, is simply being naive. We know that. We also know that we have a hydro facility down there, right there on Bridge Road. That also is a very, very important asset for us to ensure the structural integrity of it. So you want to build something that has a high value target within a stone's throw of the township's hydroelectric facility that controls the water level of Fort Lake, that also impacts the communities downstream, namely Belleville. The whole absurdity of what's going on with DTE, you're seeing now. I've never seen such a frenetic effort to simply cut out public comment to push through the new substation to service the planned data center in Saline Township. And if they can cut the red tape, in their opinion, and expedite and fast track approval of a substation in Saline Township, why would we think anything less as to what they'll do come to Saline Township when they get ready to build a new substation? And what's going to happen at some point in time, if they continue to have these substations built, they're going to overbuild the capacity. They're not going to have enough electricity that's going to be purchased by these data centers. And at some point in time, there'll be the consumer that will end up having to pay what they call stranded costs. And I know some of you are familiar with that, because that's what happens when you put in infrastructure into the millions of dollars, and later on you're not able to recoup your investment because they have found other ways to reduce their energy dependence. So at some point in time, I think the supervisor did schedule a meeting for this coming Thursday with DTE. I'm not sure as to what we will learn from them about their plans, but in the past, they've made it quite clear to us that they're not looking at anything on the ACM property, that their focus appears to be solely on the taxed out road properties. So at this point in time, if it sounds like we're frustrated and angry, bewildered, maybe all three of those are true and many more. I just don't understand how much more this township board is expected to show in terms of restraint. We have done everything in a proper, good faith manner. We've contacted our representatives, as we've always been told to do from early on in our lives. If you have a grievance, to bear that grievance with those in power that can make the change, or at least have the authority to do so. But when you can't even sit down and have a conversation, I've never experienced the frustration level, and to have at times the arrogance and the smugness and the response as if somehow this is already a fait accompli, it's already a done deal. I just don't think that's something that any of us are going to accept, and I know that this township board's not going to accept that, because we owe it to the people that we represent to get answers to questions. And it's just extremely frustrating. And again, I would encourage, at least there was one voice that spoke out strongly on the Michigan Daily article. That's again, at the heart of the U of M campus. And that article was extremely well written, well received. It continues to be the highest read article for the Michigan Daily newspaper. And I think right now that barring any unforeseen changes before the end of the year, that the Township Board has to go to the next level in terms of how we get in the front door and have this meeting, because I know all of you are exhausted probably from hearing me talk about the same issue, but at the same time, we can't let up, otherwise you lose, they win, and all this has been in vain. And I don't think this board is ready to accept the response. I feel bad for you, the State Representative Wilson. Why should he? He's in Lansing. He's an elected state official. He can't get a meeting with the governor's staff. What's wrong with this picture? We've already seen some of the connections that's been made with the Saline Township facility, where the Jocelyn Benson, Secretary of State's husband, is basically the vice president that's leading that whole development, and said, well, I'll recuse myself if she becomes governor. Well, she's Secretary of State right now. So I don't know what's going on in terms of why the doors are being shut. I know Benda's reached out to Congresswoman Dingell's office. I know she reached out to other people trying to set up a meeting. But something's got to give, especially in light of the Yucca modeling report that you haven't seen yet. It's going to be too much for this township to handle if the Augusta Township Data Center goes forward. And I'll stop right there because I'm saying right now that we deserve better. We deserve better treatment. And we have to make sure that if nothing else, maybe we show up at the governor's office ourselves. Maybe that's what we do. What do we have to lose at this point in time? We show up in mass. I don't know what else to do, because the politeness, the courteous letters, and they've been strong letters. Everybody knows that. They've seen the letters. They can be very pointed, but you got to let us in. You got to give us a seat at the table. We are the host community. This land use is going to impact the future of this township for generations to come if those facilities are allowed to be built on Textile Road. There's no question about that. And I don't think anybody up here disagrees with it. But at some point in time, something has to give. So I'll stop right there. I know I said it 3 times, but I'll stop for sure right now.
If you could go to the microphone, I guess you could, real quick.
Oh, okay. Regina Cudla, 120 Valley Drive. What is the date of that article, and who's the student that wrote it?
Alina Nicholson is the author. It was published last week. I don't have the date in front of me. 10th?
Last week? Okay.
It is entitled Ypsilanti, not Ann Arbor, will bear the cost of the University of Michigan Los Alamos Data Center.
Yeah, just so I can look it up. And last meeting that I attended, but anyway, the MDC, was there any discussion about them having qualms about the grant, or?
The internal meeting that we had, they seemingly, I think everybody was in the meeting, they seemingly agreed with the township pretty wholeheartedly that these data centers should go to the ACM property.
Right.
But I've not been able to have any more communication with them because the attorney said talk to her. And I talked to her, but she won't call back.
And last week, legal's office hasn't been receptive to any.
I'm sorry?
Legal's hasn't been receptive to intervening in any way.
I'll defer to Supervisor Stump on that question.
Yeah, I think she sent some strong letters. It's about U of M not doing any community engagement at all, not being transparent. And I just recently asked her to help me get a meeting with Governor Gretchen. I also called, Karen suggested, and I agree that sometimes if another elected official calls, but they won't. I called the scheduling person who I just happen to know. Yeah, it's like crickets, and it's unacceptable. It is very, and even the December 3rd meeting for the Saline Township, it's a virtual public meeting, so you can't even go in person. And then they have you have to go through these steps on how to get. It's not transparent. It's not. If you're proud of this economic development that you're bringing to the state of Michigan, then be open, be upfront. Go to the community and talk about it. But so I do encourage people for the Saline Township, even though they're not our residents. I mean, there's going to be massive electrical usage. I don't know how that's going to affect Washtenaw County, and our residents and the Michigan Public Service Commission is strictly about the electrical use. Yeah, it's just I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's disgusting, is what it is, and it's very connected, and it's all about money. Just follow the money, and you can follow who's benefiting and who's not, and it's Democrats and Republicans. So it's both people. The rich will get richer, and the people, what they're doing to our community and Saline Township is just terrible.
And Augusta.
Like Mr. Lynn
And Augusta.
identified any mishaps with the dam would affect not only Belleville, but everything downriver to Lake Erie, basically.
I do believe, and maybe I am naive, I'm told I'm too nice and too naive until I get mad, but like if Governor Gretchen Whitmer would come and look at the site and see the site at ACM, anyone would realize, now they're correct, that is the wrong site for this massive data center. But we have to get people engaged. They have to sit around the table, and the reporter today is actually going out to and looking at it. And there was some state reps that didn't vote for it. State Representative Morgan, right? He did not vote for the data, all the funding and the tax incentives, which again, they waived the sales tax of 6%, which goes to local community. It's just all around.
I'm sorry, in April 24.
Right.
Is when that.
It's just, but we're gonna, we're not gonna stop fighting, and we can't.
Thank you very much, Mr. Winters.
So we'll see.
Just want to something before the end of the year, next steps. Do we need a resolution about the clawback?
Yeah.
Do we take that with us and all these people writing all these emails, and just do a march on, people, because it makes no sense. The only thing that makes any sense to me is that DTE wants to do this big new substation. There must be a lot of money or something in that, because nothing else on the two sites, like you said, if you did a risk benefit or pros and cons on each one of them, that's the only thing I can think of, because I think, well, why is there going to be more money made off of one versus the other? And the only thing that's different, the huge thing, there's a lot of things different, but the money end is the DTE substation. And when you read all those things that Doug gave us, it's always like DTE. It's there's this intuitively, I just see this, what is up with this? And even the stuff that's strategic group that gave the $100 million, it was kind of the same thing. So I think nothing else makes sense. It's a big, beautiful piece. It's a green piece. Yeah, will it be developed? Yeah, but should it be major industrial? Because this is industrial. This is
heavy manufacturing.
As big as General Motors. Okay,
yes, it
this
is.
And what it's going to do to the community. And would you put that on that site? Especially when you have, and all the things that we talk about and we preach about and we say about environmental and cutting our consumptions and doing all these kind of things. You have a perfect chance to do it the right way and cut all those things and protect those things too, so I don't know. Another thing I keep thinking too, saying, it's in my thing, and maybe, our damn guy, what's his name?
Michael.
Michael,
Saren.
sorry, yeah. I know when we do those studies, and it's been a long time, it might have even been when Joanne was here, on the dam, that we ended up engaging in like these Indian resources, something, and I just thought, does it make sense for us to start maybe researching and doing something like that? Like, if they found something
Arrowheads
real
or
strange there, or, or very protective, or a species of a mouse or something.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for all the different ways I can
Right.
get them off of that site, seeing how common sense makes no sense to
Right,
anything.
right, but, and it's gonna, the state does have to approve it's not in MDNR, but it's the Eagle. But, I mean, everything is on a fast track with the state of Michigan, so we have to get to the head of the state, which is the
It's
governor's office.
fast tracked, and it's not just fast tracked, but it's hidden. It's
Right,
fast tracked with this like hidden,
and it's been going
nothing out.
on.
And it's since before 24. she
Exactly,
said.
and
Well,
we had no
none of us
idea.
knew about that. I mean, obviously the county knew because they passed a resolution. I didn't know the county had passed this resolution back then that they opposed the tax breaks. Our county did.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that was going through the state, but obviously that it came through. So they all knew about it like way back then. I mean, it's 2 years ago.
Well, U of M was negotiating with ACM for 18 months prior. And they came to us, it's 20 acres, 2 office buildings with 200 employees, not really knowing the massiveness of a data center. And then once you see it and read about it, you understand the actual manufacturing. It will use more energy and more water.
It'll be like General Motors.
It will be exactly.
That's
It's
a
like
good
lines
analogy
over
to
there.
put it on, though. That's a good point.
So anyways, I don't know what we're planning, but I think we should do something before the end of the year.
Well,
Not to stop it, and whether that's get the resolution together.
yeah, at the next board
At the
meeting.
next board meeting, and reach out, I mean, and I'm grateful to the city, I saw the city adopted a resolution opposing it. And, get the county on board and all the other groups and the emails, I mean, we've gotten hundreds of emails from those, and it's more kind of like a,
Well, and they think we have the power. Every
Right,
one of them
right.
says the township has the power, and that's
Yeah.
not accurate.
it's the
yeah.
state, I mean, if you could split the money too, I think that's huge. I think it is, $100 million seems like a lot to me, but will that make a difference if there's an agreement that you get it over there but not here? I don't know, And is there any other things that we can do in the meantime in terms of ordinances, yucca, sewer rates, water, whatever?
Well, if you go to the Public Service Commission, there should be a public benefit from DTE. Our community's not asking for the U of M site on Textown Bridge. We're not asking for all that electrical upgrade. Matter of fact, we don't want it. So what's the public benefit? Public Service Commission, there should be benefit. There's none. There's none. And Attorney General, I think Nessel seems to be challenging Detroit Edison. Detroit Edison is leading it with the state of Michigan. And now the federal government is doing the same thing.
Yeah, you're up against that too.
So we have a lot of things against us, but we're not going to stop. We didn't for the toxic landfill, incinerator, and we're not going to stop for this. So.
I did realize like 2 of them are up for re-election next year too.
Board of Regents?
And I just think statewide, this is a huge issue. This
Yeah.
isn't just our issue.
Right,
Good point.
right.
And they all voted for it, my understanding. Did they all vote for all this stuff?
Yeah.
Sell
Yeah.
buy the land,
Yeah,
and there was no opposition,
None.
right?
none.
I would just leave you with one thought, and I think I'm right on this. Back in December 30th or 31st of last year, when they passed, like they do, legislation in the 12th hour, that one state statute that went into effect says that any data center that receives a tax exemption is required to use reclaimed water for to cool their computers if it's available. In this situation, we know it's available because Director Blackburn has said it's available, and sent the letter directly to Fiscal. Now, some may argue they didn't get a tax exemption. I would argue otherwise, because first of all, they're tax exempt by definition. They're not paying any sales tax by definition. And they have $100 million in their pocket, or they're going to have it, on top of all that. So I think that the letter and spirit of that statute applies exactly to what is going on over here, because there are very few places where you can point to in this county where you have your own wastewater treatment plant, where you could use the effluent or reclaimed water to mitigate negative environmental impacts. This is a classic case where we have the location, we have the wastewater treatment facility, and we have the director of the facility saying, it's here. You can use the effluent if you come over here. You can't use it if you go over to Textile Road.
Is it because of the geography, Doug?
I'm sorry?
Is it because of the location?
Right.
It's like,
Because of geography.
yeah.
And because, right, and because also,
It's right
because
there.
when the Will Run wastewater, when the General Road is closed, they have 5 pumps over there.
Oh, that's right.
They're only using 1 right now because of the ACMs, obviously is much less usage than that. So they have plenty of capacity, the pumps are there, unlike Marks Road, which today is already confirmed, but we kind of already suspected. You cannot put any more usage on that Marks Road pump station by having failure or major upgrades. What is wrong with people that you can't see that what you're doing is not in alignment with any type of land use policies, not in alignment with any type of common sense policies, not in line with the state statute, the spirit thereof, and you're not even talking to the people who are going to be impacted. Is it because we are in eastern Washington County that we don't matter? That's what it feels like. It really does. I mean, I know all of us here, many of us here grew up here and have felt our entire adult lives with the same feeling that we have right now. That it's a county that's divided by race and place, and it is economics. We have the so-called U of M Poverty Solutions Index study that shows right now the life expectancy is significantly less over here. The impact upon the disparate treatment upon black and brown people is much more severe when it comes to health, educational opportunities. They know all this. They know it. That's why it was refreshing to read that article that was published in the U of M student newspaper, because they get into that. But his money becomes so corrupt and so great that I can't even schedule a meeting. If it is, then we should have our own public hearing, because we're not getting the message out in the way that probably we need to, because we're not getting the meetings that we have to have to learn why they're saying, no, we can't attend or you can't do this. I have no answers. We have no information. And the people that you would think would say, come on in, let's talk about it, won't even return a phone call.
Have we tried any direct contacts that we might know through the Board of Regents? Like individually instead of Chris Kolb, or is that
I sent letters to them.
yeah, I'm just wondering, I mean, there's a lot of them, and maybe somebody knows them personally, or knows somebody that knows them, I don't know. The only names I really know on is like Denise
Bernstein.
L.H.
And Bernstein. Yeah, we
and,
don't
Catherine White. So anyways, just ideas.
One quick question. You say they did.
Your name, sir?
Jeremy Haley.
Thank you.
You say they did a bait and switch for the MEDC. Bait and switch is just a funny word to say fraud. They frauded the people.
I said trickery too.
So why not file a criminal complaint against MEDC or U of M for doing such and take it to the courts? That way they'll buy time, and they'll also force them to prove that they didn't commit fraud in the public domain. Right now it's being hidden. I'd say file civil and criminal complaints against them for defrauding people of the Township and the state of Michigan. That would take it to the courts. They'd have to comply.
Thank you for your suggestion. All right, we're gonna go on to new business. We have authorized entering into negotiation to sell township-owned property at 138 South Terrace.
So move that we approve the request.
Motion Rowe,
Support.
support Swanson. Discussion. This will come back to the board. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Brian's here if you had any questions. Number 2 is to approve the emergency repair fire engine Rosie cracked transmission case to be completed by CSI Fire Truck Repair in the amount of $10,170.46, which is budgeted.
So move.
Motion
Support
Rowe.
Thornton.
Support Thornton. Is there discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that weird? The crack thing, I mean, it's not that old. Do you know?
The chief is here. I was wondering if there's a fluid issue.
How did it get cracked? You all out doing willies in it or something?
Chief. Yes, the truck is not that old, but you have to remember it's got over 123,000 miles on it. And it's not only the miles, it's the pumping up, the hours that the transmission really takes a huge hit. What I mean by that is when we pull to the fire, we have to engage the pump, which the transmission governs that in order to get the water from the tank to put out the fire. So anytime we use that, you figure 120-some thousand miles plus all the hours that the transmission has on addition to that, let alone the pumping hours of the truck itself. So unfortunately, it was out of warranty, and the difference was right around about $3,100 or $3,200 to get another rebuilt one, but it only came with a 60-day guarantee, where this one came with a 2-year warranty. So that's why I was recommended to go to the one for $10,000 just for the 2-year warranty, if something happened to it. And it's not like the truck doesn't get used, it gets used, I won't say every day, but pretty much. So unfortunately, yes, it did fail us.
And what year is the truck?
I'm going to say, I was here before, I think it's like a 16 or 17.
16, what the paper says.
16.
Have you ever heard of that before?
Yes, ma'am, it is common.
I've never heard of it.
They fail, and it's just, we're just a very busy township when it comes to our citizens with emergencies. And pumping hours, like I say, it's not like your normal car where you just have a regular transmission that drives the truck. This has a dual purpose with the pumping of the apparatus and also the driving of the truck there, so.
Maybe in our next new truck, we should get extended warranty on the transmission. If
We should look at that for sure.
If we can, yeah.
Absolutely, it's not too late for that.
Yeah, because it's like $1 million, right, to buy a truck.
7 years later, 8 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard of it, but I do know we've had a lot of fires as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
More
true.
fires than
Yeah.
normal.
So and not only, I mean, is it used in our township, but we out with the 2 other surrounding communities, and it does go to work there for them as well.
And we've always had that, don't you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
It's just a little bit extra.
It's busier.
for it.
It's just more fires than I recall in a long time.
It has,
All right, we have a motion support. Thank you, Chief. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is the approve amendment of the contract with Washington Community College for building use at the Ypsilanti Township Community Center, extending through August 2026 in the amount of $20,000, which is budgeted.
So moved, Peterson.
Motion Peterson,
Support.
support Eldridge. Questions or comments? When we approved the original agreement, they had talked about this, and they were waiting to see what the federal government was going to do, and so now this carries us through, and $20,000 is the revenue from it. We have a motion in support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4 is to approve the purchase of a new audiovisual system for the senior programs in room 202, 204 in the amount of $36,080.09 contingent upon attorney approval.
So moved, Peterson.
Support.
Peterson Eldridge. Is Josh here? Oh, Nicole. Oh, you're here. Would you like to talk about this?
Any questions?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Does anybody have any questions?
This is.
I guess I did. Just one quick one. The audio visual system. So is there going to be a room set up, or they're going to have classes for the seniors? What is it,
So
Nicole?
this will be installed in rooms 202 and 204, our large meeting rooms.
Okay.
2 large television monitors that we can connect to our laptops or any other equipment to do presentations or slideshows or even a movie night if that's what we wanted to do.
Oh, great.
Also installing overhead microphone and speaker system too.
So they would register for those to come in, or anybody just come in whenever they would like to, when something's scheduled?
I foresee it mostly as things are scheduled, like when we had the community meetings for the Washtenaw County Older Persons Village.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you were there. The microphones, they weren't always reliable. We had 3 that we were switching on and off. This will eliminate those types of problems.
Great. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Trustee Newman?
I have one. Was the price obtained from a competitive bid with other vendors, or how was this determined?
The pricing is, I would say, competitive, probably middle of the range. This is the only company that did come out and assess our needs and dig a little deeper to see what we really wanted.
In the memo,
There
there
are
was 4
quotes
companies
in the memo, yeah.
that came out.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
4 companies submitted numbers. 1 company came out to view the property and the equipment we currently have and what our needs are, and then included the electrical needs into their consideration.
And my question was, has the IT department, Travis McDougal, has he looked at this to see if it,
He has not.
so could we add that as
Contingency.
contingent, the attorney and our IT director, just to make sure? Because there's things in here that like, I'm not familiar, but I do know that he is, and how it interacts with the township and stuff. It would be helpful.
I had a comment, right?
Yes.
I just,
Trustee Rowe.
I was wondering, did you think about what it would take to be able to use the equipment virtually? Like if you were to have a large community meeting and we wanted to go virtual, is that? Just wondering if that was something we wanted to include, and is it easier to include it now so that we could do that down the road?
I can't swear to it, but I believe that would be incorporated into it, but also dependent on our Wi-Fi capabilities.
Maybe there's just something.
Yeah, because we do
maybe
have
you
some
could
Wi-Fi
ask.
issues
It is.
there.
I think
Yeah.
that's in here. When I mean, I read it
I
to
didn't
the
read
best of my
everything, so.
ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can ask Travis that to make sure
Yeah.
that it can, because they have cameras too, for Zoom, I think is what I tried to read the proposals, but I'm not an expert in this area at all.
Me either.
But
That
and
is
we
a
do
good question
have
though, because
time.
we do have some issues. We do have some issues with with the wireless uploading. I know just from elections, from time to time, they have trouble with the tabulator, having to move it to a window to get it to do the upload at the end. So probably that's a good thing for us to consider if we're thinking that way. And having Travis look out after that, how easy it would be for that to happen.
They're saying in the back they can't.
Oh,
hear you.
sorry.
I tried.
Sorry. Well, I got my microphone on. I said that's a good point that's brought up, because I know that, like, during elections, there's some, like, they have to, at the end of the night, the connectivity have to move the tabulator closer to the window and stuff. And so we probably should look into that to make sure if there's something else we've got to do to make that more compatible that it would be possible.
And I do know this was part of the senior dollars from the senior millage or older adult millage. And before they said we had to spend it by December 31st, and now they're saying you have time until June, I think, something like that, to spend the dollars. So I know we have to look at it, but now we do have additional time. And I would really like IT to look at it and to look at the, like Karen mentioned, and Debbie, the connectivity. Would 2 weeks tabling it be a big problem so they can look at it?
Wouldn't have an issue.
I think that's fair.
Well, I'm asking Nicole, with 2 weeks, would you mind? Yeah, and the board. I'm just talking to myself up here, I'm so sorry.
I think that's reasonable.
Okay, yeah, just so we have a better understanding of everything, and now that we have more time, before we didn't, we have a little more time.
So a motion to table
And-
is in order.
Yes.
So wait a minute, just a good understanding, since you're saying it's a budget thing and we have to use this money, that will give us enough time, Nicole, where we don't have to miss out on any money. For sure.
That's my understanding. I will double check.
Yeah, because I would hate to
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
table it and we miss out on this deal for the seniors. I don't know when that budget's
No,
up.
everything that I have read and
Uh-huh.
communication said that you can carry it over to next year as well. And we do need this, and I want to do it, but I want to make sure that we're really.
Okay, so the suppliers say we'll kind of carry over to the beginning of the year or something. Thank you.
Motion to table?
Yes, would be in order. Motion.
Motion to table?
Swanson.
Did you support?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go, I got it. Sorry. I was so ready. Sorry
We have
about
a motion and support till table until the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank
that.
you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Nicole. Number 5 is to approve a price increase for Green Oaks season pass holders for the 2026 golf season.
So moved.
Motion
Support
Eldridge.
Thornton.
Motion Eldridge, support Thornton. Kirk is here to answer any questions.
How much is the price increase? And
The resident and non-resident season pass fee by $75, the spouse child fee by $25, cart fee season pass by $50 for a 5-day cart pass and $150 for a 7-day.
oh,
Does anyone see it? I
You wanna
got the
see it?
shape right here. Okay.
Would you like to elaborate, Kirk? I'm trying to hear.
Good evening, Kirk Sherwood, PJ Director Golf, Green Oaks. The price increase would be $75 per person. The spouse or additional fee for a child would be $25. These rates, we did have a separate small meeting about this with a couple of the officials. I did provide a piece of information that showed all of the different rates in this area compared to us, which put us very comparable to the other rates. If I do have that here, if you'd like a copy of it, if you'd like to look it over, you're welcome to have one. But it has not, we have not had an increase in rates since '21.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I didn't write down who made the motion.
It was Eldridge and Thornton.
Thornton, okay.
Thanks.
Number 6 is approve an adjustment to Green Oaks Friday golf rate to a weekend rate fee structure.
So moved, Peterson.
Motion Peterson,
Support.
support Thornton. Kurt?
So in the golf business right now, it is pretty common for Fridays to be a premium day in the golf business. With our current rate structure where we're at, we're looking to make Friday a weekend rate day, based on the amount of play and based on the fact that most golf courses are doing this. We are very competitive in the area. Even with going to a weekend rate on Friday, we're still one of the better deals in the area. It would, however, remove the senior rate on Fridays, so that is part of this situation, but at the same time, we also have a price break at 1 o'clock, which we already have on the weekend, so it would drop from the maximum rate of $46 next year, including cart, down to $40 at 1 o'clock. So that's the recommendation on moving the Friday rate. Just so you are aware, just so there's clarification though, the 5-day pass holders would still be included on that Friday, which is also a perceived value for increasing their membership. So that is where we're standing with that right now.
Questions or comments?
So if you bought a season pass, you'd be able to use it on a Friday.
With the 5-day pass, yes.
With a 5-day pass, what about the 7-day pass?
The 7-day pass is all 7 days.
Oh, all 7 days. I gotcha. So 5 days they can use it, but the senior discount does not apply on Fridays only.
It applies to the discount for the pass holders. So the Monday through Friday senior rate would still be in effect for our pass holders at 5 days. There just would not be a senior rate on Fridays as far as an actual golfing rate for public.
If you come in to vote and you don't have a pass. Senior rate.
Other questions or comments? You guys are doing a great job at Green Oaks. The condition of the course and the customer service. We've heard great feedback from people who golf there, so thank you for all that work.
Thank you.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 7 is approve the 2 change orders from Oscar Larson for additional work needed for the fuel pump replacement for the Ford Lake Park and Community Center in the amount of $18,551.52.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Eldridge, support Swanson. Is there questions regarding this? We got into it and it was deteriorated pretty badly, and the picture shows it.
It's a safety issue.
Very much a safety issue. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8 is to waive the bidding portion of Minton section of the financial policy to approve W.J. O'Neill to replace the heat exchangers in the rooftop units 1, 4, and 7 and user interface in rooftop unit 4 at the Township 14B District Court in the amount of $24,315, which is budgeted.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge,
Support Thornton.
support Thornton. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9 is approve the resolution 2025-31, which is a resolution to abide by Michigan State Police determination of speed limit for the Tuttle Hill Road. It's from Textile to Martz.
So resolution number 2025-31, resolution to abide by Michigan State Police determination of speed limit for Tuttle Hill Road. Whereas the Ypsilanti Township Board recognizes the importance of ensuring that speed limits on public roads within the township are safe, consistent, and enforceable under Michigan law, and whereas pursuant to the Michigan Vehicle Code, Public Act 300 of 1949 as amended, and Public Act 33 of 2024, speed limits on certain roads must be established based on engineering and traffic investigations conducted by the Michigan State Police in coordination with the Washtenaw County Road Commission. And whereas the township has requested an official speed study to be conducted for Tuttle Hill Road from Martz Road to Textile Road, with the evaluation considering the establishment of the 50th percentile speed due to crash history. Now therefore be it resolved that the Ypsilanti Township Board hereby agrees to abide by and support the speed limit determination made by the Michigan State Police for Tuttle Hill Road from Martz Road to Textile Road based on the results of the required engineering and traffic investigation. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be provided to the Michigan State Police and the Michigan County Road Commission to confirm the township's concurrence with the determination process and outcome. So moved.
Support.
Motion Swanson, support Rowe. Discussion? The only thing I would like to say is that I asked that they do the study from Lilly to Mars, because Lilly, back to textile, they changed to 45 miles per hour already, and they said they have to do the entire study of the road. They won't allow it to go from, it has to be from one major road to another. So I also hope that in the resolution it talks about required engineering and traffic investigation, and some of the points that were brought out by our residents was the amount of non-motorized path, the amount of children, the amount of curb cuts, the width of the road. All of that will go into the study, and the flashing beacons or pedestrian signs are up. I do think it made a difference. I think, well, I'm purposely trying to drive 45 the entire way. And if we can get residents during the speed study to do 45, then that will be the new speed. So it's really a matter of educating everyone in that corridor that wants the speed reduced. And I think it's going to show. It's just too wide. I went to Earhart Road, and Trustee Rowe had talked about how they have bike lanes on the road, and they really shrink the size of the road. And that was very beneficial too when I went over there. So I don't know what else they're going to do. It'll be 5 years, 7 years, I think, for a traffic circle, if the funding is there. So whatever we can do to slow the traffic down, we need to do that. I appreciate the Road Commission bringing it forward sooner. Then they were going to wait till next year to do it, and they agreed to do it sooner. So that's good. So it's a matter now of just informing residents of what's happening. And drive slower. So the speed study will show that
People get so mad at you when you do it though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I know, because I do the same thing, and they get they pass you, and get on your rear.
oh, I thought you meant the
No, people
state
get-
police.
You find when you drive slow that they,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Aggressive.
Nice for
Yeah.
traffic enforcement. All right, we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 10 is to renew the Recovery Court Grant contract, specifically the Michigan Drug Court Grant Program, and to accept grant funds in the amount of $71,129 and expenditures in the corresponding amount.
I make a motion that we authorize the grant.
Motion Rowe,
Get it out.
I support.
support Thornton. The magistrate here is here, as well as our Judge Washington. This is the third or fourth year? Fourth year for this grant? Fifth. Sixth year for the grant.
Mm.
So we do this every year.
Hillary Raylan, magistrate for 2B. Just here if you have any questions.
I don't have any.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 11 is approved litigation to abate public nuisance at 506 Hollis Avenue, if necessary.
So moved.
Motion Rowe.
Support.
Support Eldridge. Questions or comments? There's all the information's in the packet, and the residents have been dealing with this for a while, and we need to take it to the next level and protect the other investments of the homes around it. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to approve litigation to abate public nuisance at 5831 Big Pine Drive is if necessary.
So moved.
Motion Rowe,
Support.
support Newman. Again, we've been trying to get compliance, it's always our goal, and this beautiful home has been abandoned for many years, and hopefully we can get it worked out for the neighbors and for future homeowners. We have a motion support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 13 is approve an amendment to the Washington Court 24 grant to increase the existing amount by $130,662 between the State of Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Growth Opportunities, which is LEO, and the Township of Ypsilanti.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge,
Support Peterson.
support Peterson. With this, these dollars was the interest that was earned, and the state originally wanted it back, and through the contacts with Representative Wilson, correct? He's the one that reached out, and to Leo. They said we really need the money to buy some other things and to finish the project, and they agreed to not take the interest earned on the grant of $5 million. We had the ribbon cutting last Friday. It was very well attended, and people were in awe of the new renovations to the court, and thankful for the security part of it. So overall, it's been a great project, very well managed by a team of people who were put together. Stan represented the township, and then the judge I'm not sure if Hillary, were you involved? Yeah. And April from the court, as well as Giovanna Neal, very involved in John Hines. So I think overall it turned out very well. Y'all did a great job in managing it, making sure it didn't go over budget, and having a beautiful facility at the same time. So it's great news that we got the $130,000. We're thankful again to the people in the state of Michigan for returning it. They did not have to do that, and they did. So we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 14 is a budget amendment number 14. Clerk Swanson.
Motion to amend the 2025 budget number 14. Move to increase the general fund budget by $24,315 to $21,340,461 and approve the department line item changes as outlined. Move to increase the bike, sidewalk, rec, roads, general BSR 2 fund budget by $14,209 to $2,491,699 and approve the department line item changes as outlined. So moved.
Support Peterson.
Motion Swanson, support Peterson. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There are no authorization and bids, or there is no other business. Are there any public comments?
Oh.
Jeremy Haley. Just briefly on the data centers, I don't know if, when you buy a computer, how long before it becomes obsolete? What I'm going for is the chips and the infrastructure they're putting in for these servers for these data centers. They have a lifespan. They're selling that these chips and stuff will last 7 to 10 years. They're actually lying to you and everybody. The lifespan is going to be 1 to 3 years on these chips. And Oracle, OpenAI is in a $1.5 trillion hole in the next 5 years for these data centers. And that's why I say it's an AI bubble. Because somebody was given information that they did the Bitcoin mining thing a few years back. Initially, it cost them $1,800 to build a system. Are you saying that obviously the option 25,000 is the same exact system? So these data centers are a depreciating asset for the business. It's inevitable. And on the data centers, how we were sold, people were sold being psychologically manipulated on the data centers by being told a decade and a half ago when Apple came out, everything's going to be stored in the cloud. Everything's in the cloud. The cloud is the data center. They psychologically manipulated people to believe where it was somewhere, and it was actually a physical place in the data center. And I just ask that people be aware of what we buy into, what we're being sold, and ask the right questions. Because in some sci-fi things, if people believe in that, but they say that this land is going to be filled with black cubes. Those black cubes are the data centers. And it's just something to think of, and that what is our land is going to be. And they're finding out right now that the information they're gathering, they can't store it all anymore. And they're actually now having to delete stuff so that everybody thinks everything's going to last forever. It's not. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any board member comments? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge, support Thornton. Meeting adjourned at 7:29.
Good.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave this old one up here.
How you doing?
I just want to make you aware, kind of keep your eyes peeled for another contract coming your way.
From
It's going to
Yamaha?
include the utility vehicles, because the first one didn't.
Okay, from Yamaha,
So
right?
he's already submitted that for me, as well
Okay.
as the signature line for Brenda.
Okay, thank you.
So hopefully if that comes your way.
Okay. Yeah, we can start closing
the
the
number
book.
didn't add up to the
Yeah,
80,000,
thank you.
whatever.
It's good to have all those eyes on it.
So what you'll find though is the carts for the 68,000, whatever it is, when you add